it's Julie. Just wanted to give y'all a quick update, kind of let you guys know what's going on. Not much change in the computer realm, although computer is running a lot better than it had been. I started running regular updates on it and checking to see if there were updates, so that seems to be doing the trick. But the main thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is because my folks were gone for about a week. They went to Colorado. And so I went to Target because that's where I go to get my frozen dinners that I take with me to work. And I got these. I got, hang on. I got Joey Graceffa's new book. I got Children of Eden. I know he's coming out with Elites of Eden, and I'm definitely planning on getting that book too. Really good book. Kind of a mystery / sci-fi / little bit of a moral realistic story, I guess you could call it. Not gonna give you guys any spoilers, but if you guys haven't bought it yet, it was at Target. Let me see. It was $12.99, but it was 20% off. And that was just a couple weeks ago, so they hopefully still have some copies, so if you guys want to go check that out. And I also, because I think I told you guys this, but I'm not sure, there was a time in my life where I had to, where I moved into this really teeny tiny little apartment. It was basically in like a one-story house that was divided into parts. And I had one part, and it was just really tiny. It was probably the smallest place I've lived in. And I had to get rid of a lot of my books because didn't have room for them all, and including my Harry Potter series, which at the time was up through oh geez, I'm blanking. Sorry, guys. It was up. Order of the Phoenix. I had just gotten that book, and then had to move, and yeah, so had to get rid of a lot of those. So I saw this at Target. This was also 20% off, and so I was like, ooh, definitely get it. I've already read through both books. So, like I said, Children of Eden, really good. Really good book. Can't wait to see what happens in Elites of Eden. And, of course, it was really good to reread the first Harry Potter book. It's kind of funny. It's kind of one of those things where I hadn't really read any of the books or really watched the first movie for a while. And so reading the book again, it's like I noticed certain things, certain parts of the book that I was like, oh yeah, I remember when they mentioned that in the movie, or I remember, So it was really good. And I definitely plan on eventually getting all of the books again. So we'll just see how that goes. Probably wait to get a lot of them until I actually get over to England, but then again, maybe not. Maybe if I can find them at half-price bookstore or, again, at Target, I can get them for a decent price. So anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed having Little over a week to myself. It was very nice. Um, Even though I always feel a little stressed because I always get left like a list of things to do, and one of the things was to water and take care of the plants that are both outside and inside, and I'm not good with plants. I have killed more plants than I have actually had survived, so it's a little, just a little nerve-wracking, but I think I did okay. I don't think there's anything else I want to tell you guys. Work is, for the most part, I really don't want to be there. It's just basically, we are losing people. We lost two of our managers, which only leaves us with our store manager and the assistant manager. We're in the process, right before all this started happening, of our district manager had some meetings with us and trying to change some things, trying to make things work a little bit better, trying to increase communication between all of us. And, well, what's interesting is because we all have these notebooks in our department, and we're supposed to write in it by the end of our shift what we've done. And especially like if we're halfway through something or whatever, to leave a note, this is where I left off, so that the next person who comes in the morning can be like, oh, okay, so I just need to start off here, instead of starting at the beginning. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I just feel like it might be too little too late. Because just with work and just, like, for example, we have a little notebook that we keep at the counter at the register in the beauty section. So far, I've been pretty much the only one who writes in it. Except for occasionally one of the other gals will write in it. But we still have arguments going on. People are blaming each other for things not getting done, or people are blaming each other for the way things are getting done. And it's just discouraging. And like I said, we're losing people. We're losing regular workers. We lost two of our managers. And, we've got one new person. Because I had to help train her a little bit this past week. And, which is another story all in its own. It's like I don't mind helping to train, but let me put it this way. We've had managers from other stores come in and help out and take over shifts, because with just two managers, there's no way. And Dawn, our store manager, she works mainly like 6:30 in the morning till like early evening. And then depending on when the other manager works, he could work a day shift or he could work a night shift. But there's times he has days off and stuff like that. So we've had people from other stores coming in. And some of them have been nice. But we had this one gal come in, and Oh my gosh, she was, well, first off, and I don't know if she intended to lie, but she basically told me, because I was supposed to be in beauty, in cosmetics, and the, our overstock base hadn't been getting done. We hadn't been checking excess inventory. We hadn't been doing scan outs, which is basically seeing, making sure that the empty spots on each shelf are actually empty, or if the product's just somewhere else. So I wanted to get that done as much as possible. And so I went in there thinking, oh, I'm going to get this done. Well, the gal who was our evening cashier during the week, she usually comes in late afternoon and works until close. She called in sick. And so I had to go up front. And I do not like being up front. It is not my favorite thing to do in the store. I will do it if I have to, but the thing that frustrated me was that because I was feeling not upset, but I was feeling frustrated that I came in, with plans to do stuff, and instead of calling somebody else in or whatever, I was told I had to jump in and stay up front and stuff. And that seems to be the case where whatever shift I work, it's like when they need backup or when they need somebody to do a price check, and it's always me that they call. And fine, I'm reliable. Reliable. I'll do my best to get there and back as quick as possible. I understand that, but at the same time, I feel taken advantage of. Because I feel like there is even times where, the manager won't come up to help out or whatever because they know I'm out there. So yeah, I didn't mean to get on this tangent. I really didn't mean to start complaining about stuff. But at the same time, if you guys don't mind me ranting to you a little bit, then, yeah, so basically, I was up front, I was doing my thing, ringing people out and all that. And then the gal who was from the other store and was in the manager position came up to me and she was like, so here's the deal. Once, I'll send the new girl up, stay with her for a few minutes, make sure she's got the job, make sure she understands what she's doing and stuff, and I'll let you get back to your department so that you can do what you need to do. So I'm like, oh, okay, well that works. Well, miscalculated two things. Number one, when you're brand new, and I mean, this girl had worked at other stores, so it's not like she didn't have any retail experience, but when you start work at a new store and you're faced with a brand new register, a brand new way of doing things, it's just, it can be a little overwhelming. So I stayed up there a little bit longer than I maybe should have, but I wasn't about to abandon her and leave her alone. Plus, we were busy enough that there were times, quite a few times, where I had to pop onto the second register just to get the line down. So, we're working and all that, and then finally, I'm relieved or whatever to go up to my area. Well, the problem is, because this gal was very much, you will take your breaks at this time, and blah, blah, blah. And so it's like, so I took my lunch, my dinner, and then I came back and gave her, because apparently she had a lunch, even though she only worked till 8. 8 o'clock, and she was like 5 to 8 or something like that. Don't ask me how that works. I don't know. I wasn't about to argue with this person who I didn't know, who was in a position of authority. So I gave her lunch, and so by the time that was done with, I didn't get, so basically I had to run the bay, which I'd had out and was doing at the time all this happened. I had to run the bay back and quickly face as much as I could of the beauty department, because everything has to be faced and everything has to, be pulled up and stuff like that. And I will say this, I think I'm pretty much the only person who does that, because there's been so many times I've gone along and maybe the first, let's say I'm facing shampoos, maybe the first thing in a row will be pulled up, and then there'll be a gap, and then the rest of the shampoos will be toward the back. And it's like, that's not how it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be every single shampoo gets pulled up toward as close as it can to the front while still remaining in a straight line. And I can't tell you how many times I've had to take overstock back because it gets put in wrong. So, I feel like I'm complaining an awful much, but that's just how I feel right now. And it's just to the point where I just don't like my job. I just don't like doing what I'm doing. And of course, it doesn't help that as part of this new thing we're doing, and it's like several people in the store have a part of the daily responsibilities that they're in charge of. And Terry, who is, I guess you could technically call her my boss. I don't know. I don't even know, because technically all she's supposed to do is do makeovers for people, help out occasionally with makeup, and help keep makeup straight. But other than that, she's not supposed to do anything. So, whatever, But the problem is that now she's apparently in charge of making sure we all do our, I call them e-learnings, even though that's what we call them at Best Buy. I don't know what we call them here at Walgreens, but I continue to call them e-learnings, because they're just, they're like the quizzes and stuff, and sometimes you watch videos and stuff in the little room off to the side where there's a computer, and you have to keep up to date on your e-learnings. So problem is, my e-learnings are, right now, I'm caught up with everything except for, because they made me the secondary owner of the cosmetic bays, I have to, and I've done the worksheets, that if I had these worksheets I had to do, I had to make sure manager went through and checked and make sure everything was correct. I've done everything except for a couple of things which involve the manager coming back with me and either watching while I do base stuff or, doing like a impromptu, okay, what do you do when this happens. And because we're so short-handed, we haven't been able to do that. Well, Terry doesn't get that. Or if she does get it, I don't know. But she got after me the other day for not getting that done. And I'm like, don't blame me. I'm trying my best. There's weeks I can't even get the base done. Because usually I only come in maybe at the earliest 1. But most of the time it's either 2 or 3 o'clock. And I stay until either like 9:45 or 10. But the problem is, not only do I have to face the whole cosmetics area, the whole beauty area, which includes shampoo, conditioner, shaving, all that stuff, but I also have to at least collect the trash for beauty, the break room, and both men's and women's restrooms. And it's also heavily implied, although not outright stated, that cosmetics is responsible for cleaning the break room and the bathrooms. Yeah, more than half the stuff hasn't been gotten done lately. And I actually got into a little bit of a, I won't say fight, but again, like I keep feeling taken advantage of. Well, the gal who normally is our weekday night cashier, she was sick for a couple of days, which was fine. I jumped in, I helped, whatever. And then the day she comes back, it's like, I'm wanting to be nice, so I'm wanting to help her out. And then she just takes advantage. And she's like, Julie, I need you to stand up here behind the register. And keep in mind, we didn't really have any customers at the time. But I need you to stand up here behind the register while I finish facing my area, while I collect trash, while I do all that. And that pissed me off. Because, what about the trash in the back? What about the break room, which at that point was really messy? And again, we had a manager from another store, and she was fine, but she was like, because my job, since I was scheduled till 10:30, was to go in the back and help make sure the drawers were counted correctly and stuff. And I told her, I said, this stuff didn't get done. I got the trash, but break room and bathrooms are filthy. And so she was like, well, help me finish this, and then you can go and do that. And, if we stay a little late, we stay a little late. And so I was like, okay. So I did probably the fastest cleanup of the break room and the bathrooms that I'd ever seen. So, and so that was fine. But it still just pissed me off because it's like, I have stuff that I have to do. And I have stuff that I am, me, specifically, am responsible for. And for this other gal to basically just assume that I'm free and able to just, stand in front, basically be a lump on the hard floor while she runs around and does what she's got to do. Plus the fact that I had stuff that I wanted to buy, and I didn't get a chance to. So that's just what, and I just want to call our district manager and just say, I give you props for trying. I give you props for attempting to make sure that stuff gets done. But it's not enough. I don't know what is. I don't know what the solution is. But something has got to change. Because, I'm hopefully leaving to go to England in a couple of months. And once I'm gone, they are going to lose about 3 good workers. Because I do the work of 3 people. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I do the work of 3 people at that store most nights. And I understand in a way that that's part of what retail is, and you gotta deal with the ebb and flow, and but at the same time, it's just like I said, I want to call our district manager, because our store manager is not going to listen to me. I've tried talking to her in the past, and she just brushes me off, so it's just kind of like, okay. So it just gets discouraging because I feel like I know I can only do so much, and I need to focus on my stuff. I need to focus on what I'm doing, and then help out if I can. And then again, on the same time, it's like the other night, it was just me and the cashier gal. However, I do have to say that a couple nights before that, like, I think it was it was either the first or second night that that she was sick, the front cashier, our manager was like, here's the deal. Stay up front until, because we had one of our guys who works in photo, he was coming in at 5 and stay until close, and I would be that was one of my early nights. And he was like, stay up here, cashier, until he comes in, and then I'll have him relieve you, and you can do what you need to do. And so, unlike the other gal, he was true to his word, and, I got relieved and was able to go back and do at least some of what I needed to do. And the thing that cracks me up, though, is that the gal who is our normal weekly night cashier, she was there's just two of us. We can't do. And I'm like, yeah, but when it was the photo guy and me, he jumped on as a cashier. I did beauty and helped out in other departments. And we got a lot of stuff done. So, and we both worked together. So, I don't get what the issue is. I don't get what the issue is with the gal being more dependent on being helped. If that makes any sense. I don't even know if I'm saying that, in the way that makes sense, but it was like, when it was me and the guy, we got a lot of stuff done. And I was able to do my stuff in beauty. He was able to do, stuff up front, and we both were able to help each other out. But when it's this gal, I always feel like I have to stop what I'm doing, drop whatever it is I'm doing, no matter how important it may be, and jump in and help her. So, I don't really know what that's about, and I don't really want to go into an in-depth possible analysis of why this happens, but yeah, so that's work. And so in the meantime, I am continuing to go through my room. I'm continuing to get rid of stuff that I feel like I don't need, and I'm trying to write, and that's the other hard part. I feel like work is almost consuming all of my thoughts in my mind, and even when I have a day off or whatever. It was nice this past couple, today and yesterday, because I had 2 days off in a row. But then at the same time, I know when I go back on, well, let me take that back, because both Saturday and Sunday I'm going to be the main cashier, so, which just means when I go to work on Monday, and that's the other thing that really irritates me, is that stuff doesn't get done unless I specifically do it. And, again, not gonna try to analyze why that is, but it does irritate me because, like I said, I went into the break room and it was an absolute mess. I mean, somebody had either brought in or found a toaster, plugged it in, toasted bread, and then left massive amounts of crumbs all over the counter. And it's like most of the people who work at the store are grown women. They're like my age or older. And yet they can't clean up after themselves. And again, like I said, I'm not going to analyze that. I'm not going to go into why the heck that might be. All I gotta say is it irritates the crap out of me because it's just like, no, you're grown women. I would hope that you keep your own house relatively neat looking, and I would hope that you don't have crumbs and sticky, goopy stuff all over your kitchen counter at home. So why are you doing it here? And I mean, I'm not asking, because I'm perfectly willing to take responsibility to wiping down the counters, wiping the table, making sure the floor gets swept every once in a while, that kind of stuff. But my job would be a heck of a lot easier if everybody else who used the break room cleaned up after themselves. If they wiped, even if they wiped down the countertop or wiped down just their part of the table, the part of the table that they're reading at. But nope, it's all my responsibility, apparently. And that pisses me off, because it's like, because I'm younger than a lot of these ladies. And they can't clean up after themselves. So, but yeah. Well, this went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to. But yeah, it does feel kind of good to be able to talk about it. So yeah, there's some good things. There's some bad things. There's some things to look forward to in the future. But in the meantime, it's the weekend, so I hope you guys that aren't working have a great weekend. And I hope that you guys that are working have a great weekend. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.